Hey everybody, welcome to the, Dorks and Debate podcast. The intro is really messed up because we don't really, we're in transition and our name is funky, so
almost
apologize.
There.
Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, but I'm your host, Tina. I've got Alex with me.
Hello.
As usual. And we also have, you came on sometime last year for Superman.
Yeah.
A long time ago. But we have Willis with us.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so so we're gonna do our usual thing. We're just talking about a bunch of topics, nerdy topics.
The weekly Geekly.
The weekly Geekly, yeah, pretty much. Starting off with the geekiness, you've got a bunch of Star Wars stuff you wanted to
Well,
discuss.
I just love talking about Star Wars.
I think we've picked that up.
We know that. I can bring it up every week. And I'm kind of late to the game talking about this. Because,
that is true. It did come out last week.
Yeah, it came out almost the same time we did the first talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It just slipped my mind. And I saw that in the article, JJ released, I don't know if they're actually going to be released as real cards. Mm-hmm. But there's a bunch of, the old Star Wars looking cards. I forget who used to make them. Topps? I think Topps used to make them.
Yeah, I think
Probably.
So.
But the trading cards, yeah.
Right.
And it gives away all the names of the characters on the trailer, which was really cool. You know, so you have Finn was one of them, and then the bad guy's name was Kylo Ren, which I thought was a really cool
like that name. That's a cool name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it also could be, you don't know if that's a male or female.
Yeah, it's kind of a, what do you call that?
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. There is a name. There's a word I'm looking for names. It can go for a boy or a girl, and I don't remember what it's called. Never mind.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Sorry.
So we got that, and the look of the cards is just straight out of the 80s, which really excited me.
Yeah.
And then the main thing that the reason why I wanted to bring these cards up was the little droid that rolls by in the shot that everyone was talking about. That's a practical effect.
Yeah, see, I had no idea. I thought that was totally computer generated.
Yeah, it looked CG to me.
It looked fully CG, and then I heard that no, that's officially a practical effect, and they were playing with it on set and everything, and that just gives me even more hope.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, that JJ's not messing around. What was one practical effect you saw in the prequels?
Nothing.
Some people.
I don't know.
So it's that is just so exciting.
I need to rewatch all that. It's been years since I've seen those.
Well, you know what? We're going to have our
Yeah.
marathon of all of the movies next year.
Yeah, they were shit shows.
You gotta watch them, though.
I'll watch them again.
Definitely I'll watch them.
Yeah.
But I guess they're not shit shows. Compared to the other ones, the originals,
Yeah.
they're shit shows.
Yeah.
But for a fan base, young kids, there are movies.
Oh,
and the third one was actually pretty good.
The third one is the one that I'm I actually own that one.
Yeah,
The rest of them
I think I do too, actually.
Yeah, I own that one because I feel like that is the
one to keep.
Yeah, I feel like that is the birth of Vader, basically. That is Vader.
It is, yeah.
Whether you like it or not, to me, that's the birth of Vader. So
I think it could have been done a little bit better, but I agree. That's
overall, probably that whole trilogy could have been done better. But what was really cool about the third one was when it was the last 20 minutes of the movie, all of a sudden you started seeing familiar scenes and the old style ships.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it started looking like the original Star Wars. And if that whole movie was like that, it would have been that much fun.
So you were where the hell was this 20 minutes in?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, check it out. You can look them up. Just type Star Wars news and you'll find whatever you need.
Yeah, I would
on the internet.
put money down that they're actually going to have physical cards too.
They'll probably be
sense.
limited release, special edition or something to make money.
Plus, by the time those come out, toys will probably start rolling out too. So once figures start rolling out,
oh boy,
yeah.
Look out, everybody!
Yeah.
See, that's how a lot of stuff gets spoiled nowadays.
Yes,
is people see the toys and they're like, "Oh, well, that's going to be in the movie."
See, as a toy collector, and when new movies come out, I have to be very careful because toys spoil a lot of things. Yeah,
Man, I didn't even really think of that.
Yeah, because that was the last one I can honestly say was probably the last Transformers movie. Not that I really cared about it that much, but those toys hit shelves way before the movie came out, so I knew who. Everybody was all "Who's going to be in it? Who's this?" I knew everybody was going to be in it, and I already knew what everybody looked like.
Just from looking at toys.
Yeah, just from looking at toys, and it was kind of I didn't want to be spoiled, but being a toy collector, I look and I'm like, oh wow, now I know everybody who's in it. And there was a lot of people that were still like, oh, are the Dinobots this? And I'm like, nope, I already know. I already knew all this stuff. So
we got it covered.
Yeah, so it was like you got to watch out for that.
It's like you're scrolling through and you're looking at stuff and you're like, ooh, that's really cool. Wait a second, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can't unsee it either. So, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't collect toys. Well, I haven't like but Legos are pretty basic.
So that was part 1 of my Star Wars update, and then part 2 was in honor. I mean, we're what is today? The 19th or the 20th?
20th, I think.
20th.
Okay, so when I thought of all this, it was the 18th, and I saw the thing on my Facebook that said 1 year away.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
And I was like, well, in honor of the Star Wars 7, I'm going to try to catch up on like all Star Wars stuff that I never got into. Mm-hmm. That's supposedly really good. One is the Star Wars Force Unleashed games.
Okay.
I know there's 1 and 2, and I heard that overall consensus is the first one is a better one.
The better one.
So I just started that, and the first level you play as Vader, and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool,
Yeah.
And it's about like a secret apprentice that Darth Vader had and found, and it takes place in between Episode 3 and 4.
Huh. Okay.
But it's not canon anymore because at the same time the new show Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, also takes place at the same time. So I think they want to go that route rather than the game. I don't know why, because I don't know the story fully. I gotta finish it.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, is the second part is the book. I think it was called Heir to the Empire, and it came out in '91, I believe.
Wow.
And this was the first Star Wars stuff that really got people crazy after Return of the Jedi.
So it was the first book that came out, after
anything, like any sort of Star Wars story stuff.
That wasn't the actual movie.
Yeah, because I think Return of the Jedi was '83, or right around there.
I feel like, that was right, yeah.
And then there was, Dead, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
And then this guy wrote this 3-part series of novels, and it's like they refer to it as the Thrawn trilogy, and that's the antagonist, I guess, the General Thrawn. And he's like this big blue alien kind of guy.
Okay.
And it's really cool so far. I read 3 chapters, and I'm really getting into that. Also, I heard that might be some of the inspiration for 7.
Okay.
Because it comes after Return of the Jedi.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, because this is set 5 years in the future, and officially Star Wars 7 is 30 years in the future.
I was going to say, that's got to be...
So I'm probably they're going to pick and choose from the expanded universe, which I never got into, but those are the 2 things I want to start,
Okay, cool, yeah. I got one book, and I feel like an idiot because I don't even remember the name of it, that I got on my Kindle that's a Star Wars book. And I think it's the series, there's some series that somebody wrote where it deals with Han and Leia as kids. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, because I think one of them
that might
has
be
the Force or something.
Might be the same thing.
Oh, it could be. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. But I started reading it, and there was this... I don't even remember. Man, I feel like an idiot. There was this stuff that was happening in the book that just the way they wrote it was really creepy to me. And I was like, I'm going to read this later. I'm just not in the mood to read it. And then I never got back into it. And now I don't really want to read anything like that because I kind of just want to go in blind to this movie. Yeah,
but that being said, it's not canon. So you can think of it as a separate story. That's the way I'm doing it. Also to kind of get a little bit of heads up. So when I do watch Star Wars 7, I can be like, aha, I see where that comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily knowing the story that they're going to tell, but some of the background figures and whatnot.
Yeah.
Little references.
Kind of like how I did with the Marvel films, growing up reading comics and stuff. I kind of get the little nuances in the Marvel films that general fans might not get.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because I have that knowledge.
Yeah.
You said you played the Star Wars Force?
Yeah, I played one and I played them both. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Even the second one. The second one's really good too. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still good. It was one of those things where I think they were trying to continue the story, but they just were like, it felt like, game-wise, it felt like, let's just make almost like a movie sequel. Let's just make another one to make another one because it's probably going to sell lots, and I'm sure it did. And it's still a good game, though, yeah. If you're enjoying the first one, you'd probably enjoy the second one, too.
Yeah, what intrigued me was that it's from the dark side. It's like you're going through the story of a film.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
And that's the one thing I think his character, Starkiller, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's what.
He's awesome.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Awesome.
Is that
he's an awesome character.
Is like top notch, and I don't know why they threw it away.
Yeah, like when you told me that, I can't even believe it. I'm like, what? Starkiller? No, he's an awesome character.
Yeah, he should be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder what the deciding factor was that made them toss that out.
Ooh, I found out some spoilers too. And I want to say them. But
no, you don't.
I'm not gonna.
I was going to say, I'm going to kick you out and say them.
I know who the voice is, who does the overdub. You know what I'm talking about?
In the beginning of the trailer?
I know who that is.
Mm.
I mean, I would assume it's that old actor that they cast in the movie, but I have no idea. Mm. Do you know who was holding the 3-edged lightsaber in the trailer?
Do I know what actor that is? Or actress?
Well, I mean,
I don't
spoilers.
I don't know who. I don't know nothing about that.
Oh,
the only thing I found out was who the voiceover is, what that character is, and how he ties in everything.
Oh, okay.
Which is a pretty big deal.
Okay.
Oh, well then, definitely don't say anything. Man, yeah. Very
How about
excited.
that lightsaber? I'm just joking. I love it too. I'm just joking though.
Yeah,
The trolls are like, wah, wah.
I need to send a complaint. I'm gonna write a letter. Oh, jeez. So Star Wars stuff. Now, did you get the book that you got, or I'm sorry, the book that you're reading, it is an actual book? It's not like a graphic novel or anything?
Well, see, no, it's an actual novel.
Okay.
It's a 3-series novel by this dude, but I'm cheating and I haven't picked up the audiobook yet. I'm reading parts off of YouTube. Because it's like part 1, part 2.
Okay, yeah.
And it goes right in chapters and it's really easy to do, so I want to get it so I can put it on my phone so I can read it, or listen to it while I'm driving to work, on break and stuff like that.
I listened to I think to the first 4 books of the Harry Potter series at work, which was cool. And then I just got where I'm like, nope, gotta listen to music or podcasts. I can't listen to stories anymore. But, you go in waves or whatever. So audiobooks are cool.
Yeah, they're also hit or miss, though, audiobooks, because I tried listening to Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And the narrator is crapola.
Oh, no,
it's
really?
just, I don't know, I just couldn't, it's all about the dude's voice. I mean, if you have someone that you can't stand their voice, how could you listen to a 400-page novel with this guy talking to you?
I can see that. Yeah, because, like the Harry Potter, I don't know the person who was narrating it, but the way he does young girls' voices in the story was just got annoying after a while. So, that's
how are you going to, this one does pretty well, and there's sound effects in it, there's bits of music.
Oh, see, okay, yeah. Okay,
so that's pretty cool,
Right,
and then he does everyone's voice, and he's actually pretty good at doing the different voices. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's tough for a male to do young girls' voices. Yeah. But he did, Han Solo pretty well. Almost sounded like Harrison Ford. And then he does, the bad guy Thrawn pretty cool. You kind of picture it a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by hit or miss, you have a really good storyteller, you're going to enjoy it that much more.
See, I thought, this is a little off, but, I thought audiobooks, because anytime I ever see them, they're always kind of expensive. And I thought, because I've never had any, but I figured that they all had sound effects, and they all had music and, atmosphere and all this other kind of stuff. And then I started listening to these Harry Potter ones, and it's just a guy reading it. And I was like, what the? Yeah. So I asked Vanessa, actually, because they were hers, and she let me borrow them. And she said, no, they're all like that. I said, is that, how audiobooks are? And she said, yeah, for the most part. I mean, you'll get some that have sound effects and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? Why are they so expensive then? I thought it was, going to be this whole cool thing. So, I mean, whatever. But
I did the thinking about it now. I remember because you said how expensive they are. I remember paying a crazy amount for the Lord of the Rings trilogy on CDs. Yeah, way back before they did MP3s.
30 CDs.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember picking that up and never listening to it because it was the same way. It wasn't done right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Harry Potter or Game of Thrones audiobook.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just because I was trying to listen to them at work, but the Harry Potter book just bored me. I just couldn't get into it. And then the Game of Thrones, I couldn't keep track of characters while I was working.
Yeah,
the way the story and the narrator guy, he would jump around. This character was over here doing this, then he'd go to this character and they're doing this. And I just couldn't keep up. And by the time I actually finished the book, the audiobook, I was like,
what?
I couldn't tell you one thing in that book. I couldn't tell you one damn thing. So I was like, I think I'm done.
Yeah, sometimes it's like a few minutes go by and you're like, wait,
yeah,
what just happened?
Yeah, that's how I was.
Whole paragraph.
Like, yeah, every time that's how I was. I was like, whoa, this character just did this, and I was like, wait, who was that? I don't know. And then they'd already on to do a new character, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember this guy anymore. And they'd be like, oh yeah, you talk about this guy in this part over here, and I just couldn't keep up with it. Maybe I'm slow.
No, well, you know what? Now that you say that, because I mean, I read the Harry Potter books, a million years ago, and I've seen the movie, so I'm familiar with what happens in the stories and stuff. So, but I've never actually listened to a book where it's my first time hearing it or knowing anything about the characters.
You should try the Star Wars out.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll do that then, because I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would be the same way. I mean, it sounds like with Game of Thrones, I would definitely be the same way, but just any book in general, I don't know if my attention span would, work well with that. But yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, with Harry Potter, you're right. Like, I went in that, I don't know anything about Harry Potter.
Right.
And I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I know they're great movies and they're great books and whatever else, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. But yeah, it just wasn't working for me, so I couldn't get into it.
Because that too, there's a lot of characters and weird names and all that stuff.
And the Game of Thrones, like I said, while I listened to the whole first book, or first audiobook, whatever you want to call it, it was interesting what I did get out of it, but then when I finally watched the show, I guess there were things that actually did stick in my head, so I kind of did remember certain characters. I don't remember what they did or whatever, or like any parts of it, but it did help me. Like, oh yeah, I do remember this character or whatever, and I kind of have an idea of what they did. So, but yeah, other than that, it was kind of it was kind of like, I'll just stick to the TV show.
No,
I was like, I'll stick to the TV show.
More of a visual person.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think I am more of a visual person. So like, when it comes to reading, it takes me a lot longer. So like, my brain don't work like that. Like, it doesn't break down those words, and like, I take it all in. So,
and granted, Game of Thrones is tough already.
Yes,
I mean, the first time I watched the episodes, it's like, when they premiere and everything, you're like, oh my god, and it's like you're zoned in to this whole episode, and by the time it's over, you're like, what happened? I got to see that again to actually retain it.
You're like, oh well.
So what happened? Well, just watch it. It's cool.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it again. I don't really remember.
And even now with the show, I don't know half of anybody's names, and I've seen it all, and I'm always like, the one guy with this, the one guy with that, the lady that does this, and that's it. That's all I got. I don't know hardly anybody's names.
When me and Monica, or when the show was still on and we were reviewing it each week, I forget, somebody was like, you need to learn the people's names. And we're like, but we're totally into the show, but it's really hard to remember all their names.
Yes.
Sometimes I used to, with everything, just make up people's names.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Change their name a little bit, Okay. That's it. And then I know you as this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your name is, that's it for me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, that's audiobooks. Basically. All right, but anyway, so yeah, that's all that's all your Star Wars bits you got?
That was a tangent, a few of them, but that was the main thing that I want to talk about Star Wars. I'm going to be giving Star Wars updates throughout the year, so don't worry.
Well, yeah, we'll just have like a Star Wars section of each episode, I guess. But just, we won't have any spoilers, though, because, you know how I am with spoilers.
Yeah,
for upcoming movies.
If it was up to me, sometimes I would give you a spoiler warning and tell you, but I know that the majority of these people here don't want to hear them, so I'll just keep it to myself.
Yes, and then we'll have a whole recap after we see the movie, and then you can see if they were all correct or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, moving on, kind of staying in the whole sci-fi, excuse me, I'm still getting over my cold, the whole sci-fi Star Wars stuff. You brought up actually a couple times how you were really psyched about sci-fi being so like mainstream right now and everything.
Yeah, and I kind of got the impression that you guys didn't really agree with me.
No, I agree.
But my take is...
No.
My idea is like 10, 20 years ago, I don't know, maybe not that long, but it just seems to me when I was a little younger, the late 90s, early 2000s, there was no real good science fiction, fantasy-based films. And they really weren't...
they were definitely like the underdog movies. Like
the underdog, low-budget kind of films. Nothing like standout blockbusters. And I think what did it was the comic book movies kind of opened the door for the science fiction / fantasy genre to kind of take back Hollywood. And they really are doing that. It's like all these big budget movies are coming out now, and that's why we're getting all, Star Wars 7 and, the new Godzilla remake and all this cool stuff. Or Pacific Rim.
Right.
I don't think that would have been made if they didn't make comic book movies.
I gotta say, though, I think you gotta give a little credit to the Harry Potter series, too.
Yeah, I guess the Harry Potter kind of pushed it forward, too.
Because those movies, I mean, even if you don't like them, you gotta admit they make a shitload of money.
Yeah. I think, too, the other thing is, like, the technology helps.
Yeah.
People who aren't into that genre watch that genre because now there's... Like, the special effects are a little more believable now. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like you said, maybe in the earlier days, some monster would have been guy in a rubber suit or puppets, and a lot of people aren't into that stuff. So unless you're into that type of film and you know that kind of stuff, you're not going to get mom and dad to go see Captain America with rubber monster fighting Captain, so...
Japanese crap.
Yeah, so it's like, I think with the technology as good as it is now, you can make these awesome movies that... Even people that aren't into that genre can go, oh wow, that's cool. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
And, it's kind of funny. Kind of on that same note, it's right now. It's kind of cool because I don't know. Yeah, you guys have noticed. I know because we talk about it all the time. But people are starting to realize that when you can go practical, you should go practical because it always makes a difference. And kind of like the whole R2 or whatever that little droid was. I forget his name, but
his name is, we didn't cover it. His name is actually BB-8.
Oh well.
Now I don't take it or leave it.
Okay, but for a while there, probably I'd say in like the early 2000s, like the whole CGI thing was just crazy. Everything, like the whole movie was CGI in any movies, you know what I mean? And it just kind of what do you call it? Oversaturated. Yep. And so now we've got, obviously technology is better, so CGI looks way more seamless, but also you're getting a lot of practical effects. Same thing with a little bit with action movies, practical stunts, stuntmen actually exploding real cars and all that kind of stuff, and it just, you can always tell, and that I'm really psyched about. Like, the CGI is awesome, of course, but the other stuff, just when you can do it practical, you can always tell. It just looks great.
Yeah, I think what happened is you had CGI, and like you said, it was like blew up. Everyone was like, oh, we can do all these awesome things.
Yep.
And I think it ran its course.
Yes.
And, now it's like it's been enough time to where we're moving back into practical effects, not necessarily leaving CGI behind.
No.
But using practical effects with CGI, and then you make something so much
you get something awesome.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so...
Blending it in, making it all work nice. Like you said, I thought that was a CGI.
Oh, totally.
The way they shot it,
I would
the way it looked. No, I would have
thought that was a practical effect.
Yeah, no way.
Now that I know that, I picture some guy rolling a ball. It's like rolling a ball, you know what I mean? Yeah, here it is. He rolls the ball.
We're acting like we're rolling a ball down the hill. Sorry.
For the listeners, the pushing the ball motion.
Yeah, you know what it is. Like bowling. But yeah, no. So I agree about the whole sci-fi stuff.
And also too with practical effects, if you do them, even back then, if you did them correct and well and thought out, they were great. Mm-hmm. Like the mix, when Jurassic Park came out, it had the mix.
Yeah, that's like the gold standard still, and that came out in what?
And some of that stuff, I remember even as a kid, and even like a few years ago, not being able to tell which was the practical and which was the CGI dinosaur. Yeah, because it was done so well and blended. Mm-hmm. And that was so long ago. Even before that, you had practical effects like The Thing. The John Carpenter.
Yeah,
that still holds up today. You put that movie on, and those effects hold up.
Yeah, it's still entertaining. Yeah, you're totally into the movie while you're watching. It doesn't totally, take you out of the picture or anything.
So science fiction is coming back.
Another thing I wanted to say, with the popularity or the rise in popularity of like sci-fi and fantasy stuff, also is the whole remake, reboot, prequel fever that's still going on. You got a lot of movies that were made back in the day, sci-fi movies that were made back in the day, that were fine for their time, but now it's like, well, look what we can do now. So and that goes into what you were saying about, CGI being better and stuff too.
But see, now that's like almost a whole different argument, because, you have these studios. That's just like Hollywood studio greed. That's
No,
what
I agree.
you have these people. I'm sure that there's tons of original content from writers,
Oh, yeah,
screenplays
totally.
that they're just not throwing. They're just not picking up. They're just like, nope, we ain't putting that out. Nope, we know that this works. We're gonna make a sequel to that. We're gonna reboot that. And your story that's probably great.
Yeah.
They're just not giving guys a chance.
That kills me. Yeah, like you would rather make a sequel that's for millions and millions of dollars that more than likely, I mean, unless it's like, some Marvel film or something, like it's probably not going to do as good as it did the first time, unless it has a huge fan base again. But then maybe spend a couple million on some guy that has an awesome story and just give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two examples I could go is Guardians of the Galaxy. When I heard that, because when it first broke, they said it's going to be a standalone film for Marvel.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the smartest thing that they could do, is throw out this and blow it out of the water and make a great thing. And then after it made so much success, I'm like, they're going to make a sequel.
Yep.
And sure enough, they announced it, and now there's going to be a sequel. Granted, like, millions of people love that. Oh, I get to see Baby Groot again. It's like, yeah, but you got it. You got it so good.
Well, they can't leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Make something new now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And then I forget my other example.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I mean, there's so many. Look at horror movies. Everything is inspired by true events or based on stuff that actually happened. And it's one thing works and one thing clicks. Yeah. That's it. Forget about it. They just completely drown everybody in the same ideas. And it's like, not that everything should be some oddball movie, but I mean, I don't want to see a million different versions of the same idea.
Yeah, I got it now. My other example was, I really wish that the movie Edge of Tomorrow, which they even had to change the name, for God's sake.
Well,
to get people to go see it and to buy it. I wish that would have did better in the theater, because it's great.
See, that's what everybody says.
It's a great original film.
I love that movie. Right after I saw it, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and it's like they had the worst marketing campaign.
Yes, it did.
It had a horrible trailer with a horrible, depressing song. And it was just not done correctly at all. And if
it didn't come out at the right time.
Nope. If people would have went and seen that movie, they would have loved it, because it was very, very good.
Yeah, see, that's a shame. But I've been meaning to watch it. I'm going to watch it. But everybody I know and every little article that I've ever read about the movie, everybody says the same thing. They're like, they fumbled bad because this is a good movie.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Why studios aren't doing it, because people aren't seeing it. I wish people would have. I blame myself because I didn't see it in the theater. But it was that damn campaign. Or their ad campaign.
Yeah, that did not make me want to see that movie at all.
We were talking about it when we first saw it. We were like, what is this crap? It
looked terrible.
Going to suck.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw it and I was like, Jesus, I couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do love when that happens, though.
Yeah.
It usually is the other way around, but that's awesome when that does happen. Yeah. But, I don't know. All this stuff. Well, speaking of Hollywood and all their shenanigans, what about the interview?
Censored.
Sony, Quiet, nobody can talk about it.
The CIA's listening.
What a hot mess. It was funny. Earlier, I think it was like Monday, maybe the end of last week. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But I got an email for a screener they were having for that movie on Thursday, and I was like, oh! And their seats were full as soon as I tried to get into there. And then, whatever day it was this week that we found out that they're totally not having the movie, I was like, oh, so are they not having the screening too? I would assume they didn't. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that? What's your thoughts?
Well, from what I got from it is supposedly there was hackers who hacked into Sony's email.
Right. Well, their whole system went down. Yeah,
and it had to have been, to pull off a hack of that size and that amount of stuff. It had to have been going on for a while.
It's like a movie quality hack.
Yeah, it wasn't, and it was all throughout Sony, as a company.
Yeah,
it's a movie within a movie.
That is some awesome marketing that they're doing.
and then you hear TV media saying, "Oh, it was North Korea who was responsible for the hack,"
Right.
and then you hear people like explaining, "Well, how could that be? You know, they live in just 50 years in the past. How are they coming up with that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
hack?"
and they didn't claim it either.
They didn't deny it and they didn't claim it. They were
Right.
like, "Yeah, but you need to be afraid of us."
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we don't. We'll never know. They'll never tell us the truth.
Right.
But it encompassed all of Sony, and that's how we also found out that there was talks between Sony and Marvel, how they might bring
Yeah.
Spider-Man into the next couple Marvel movies, which was cool. And then that was thrown to the wind because people got wind of it.
And then the 21 Jump Street guys were going to join the Men in Black too. I heard that.
That was in the hack.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then there was like racist comments about the president
Oh yeah,
in the same hack.
yeah.
So there was like a big fiasco with Sony, and I think Sony Pictures made the wrong move by pulling it.
I think so too.
Oh yeah, totally. Everybody thinks it's I mean,
But
the theater chains. I think what was it? The theater. A lot of the different theater chains were like, we're not going to show this because you got to think about people's safety and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
Because it's like, of course, like theaters now, there is no just one singular screen. There's multiplexes. There's like 20 screens or whatever. So you've got people going to see this movie, but then you have innocent people going to see other movies. So it's just
it's a tricky call, and I think that's what they tried to do first. Was they were going to say, okay, well, the theaters can choose if they want to show it or not.
Right.
And then so many backed out that they were like, okay, we're just going to
I think it's better. Safe, like you said, safety wise, it's better to just probably not show it at all, which sucks.
I think, well, then put it on VOD or something.
That's what
I
I
don't know.
think. I'm like, this needs to be released. Then just release it. Later
you
or
have
something.
to release
yeah,
it.
Like
Yeah.
I really wanted to see this movie.
yeah, I definitely wanted to see it too, and there's reviews of it out.
Yeah, there's a few
And they're saying
people
that it's
have
good.
seen it.
Yeah. See, and I like Seth Rogen, so I'm like.
I like the two of them.
Yeah, both
I
of them
think they're
exactly. Yeah,
hilarious,
Franco,
yeah.
I'm a big fan of those guys.
Two funny things I heard about, or one funny thing, one cool thing, was that George R. R. Martin
Yes, yeah.
was willing to show it
At his theater,
like,
yeah.
little theater.
He was like, "Come bring it to my theater."
That's cool.
I thought that was funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He is
I
awesome.
didn't know that.
I don't, like just a weirdo.
That's
you know?
funny. That's cool.
He's just, I think he's great.
That's funny.
And then also, did you hear about George Clooney wrote a piece, or whatever you call it, in a newspaper or something? I don't know. He wrote something, and he was calling people, like, to, like, you can't cater. Like, this is setting a terrible precedent.
Yeah.
This isn't, this is freedom of speech, blah, 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 all this other crap, and, like, nobody backed him.
Yeah.
So then everybody's like, oh, that shows, how horrendous everything is in Hollywood, because nobody's willing to do anything and all this other stuff.
It's just a big.
See, and I was thinking too, like as far as the whole North Korea thing, like how many movies have we had where the North Koreans were like the bad guys?
Yeah, well,
and, like,
that's how.
like, why is it all of a sudden now are we scared to put a movie out? And not to mention, it's a comedy. You know what I mean?
Imagine
Yeah,
if what is it, Team Police or something? What was it?
Team America?
Team America. Yeah, imagine if that came out.
Yeah.
Well, weren't they going to show that in place, and then they said no, we're not going to do that or something. I heard something.
I didn't
That's
know that.
that like puppet
That's cool.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
and I know
Okay,
that's been a big hashtag right now. Like everybody's doing
that's
Team
what
America.
it is. Yeah, because
and
they
they're
were
like,
going to show that in place of it or something.
okay,
like that.
yeah. So, but yeah, I just was like, there's been a ton of movies with North Korea as the bad guys. Like,
Well,
because-
it's just in history. I mean, how many
Yeah.
movies had like Hitler in them? And like
exactly. I mean, how many war movies are there where we're fighting Afghanistan?
Right.
You know, it's like based on true events. Yeah, they're the bad guys in this
And I'm
scenario.
sure in
okay?
other countries, there's got to be movies where Americans are the bad guy.
And like
Yeah.
all the the Call of Duty games, the Russians were the bad
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I mean,
And then Putin came out. And
Yeah,
invaded.
so it's like, I just and I just feel like if they're this powerful group that says they can just do all these things, it's like it's a movie. Let it go, man. It's a movie. Like it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
You're,
okay.
you're a great, powerful nation. Like with your nuclear arms, it's cool. It's a movie.
And I think we've learned the lesson now that they're a lot of talk.
Yeah, they are a lot of talk.
So it's
Right.
like we're like really just why would we ever worry about anything that they said? They've never backed anything up. They're living like I said in 50 years in the past.
Yeah.
So it's like just
And
quiet over
hey,
there.
just throwing this out there. This all could be a diversion tactic.
Oh,
There could
I
be
know.
something gigantic going on. Like remember
I
the whole
wouldn't- I
Ebola
wouldn't be
thing that was
dying.
going on
Yeah.
a couple months
Yeah.
ago? So who the hell?
and how it magically disappeared.
I
after
mean,
the
I
midterms.
haven't heard anything about it. So, but
I'll have to
I don't know
confess,
shit about that.
I have Ebola.
Get out. Get
Thanks
out
for
right
inviting me
now.
over, guys. I have Ebola.
make your way to Atlanta, please. But yeah, so I mean, obviously nobody knows anything for real, and we won't know anything. But that still was a shitty move.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ebola survivor.
Yeah. That's how we'll introduce Willis. Oh, God. No. Get some criticisms on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all that. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next couple weeks about that whole thing. But moving on. Oh, actually, I did want to apologize. I did it already, but I just want to say again, I don't really have too much going on this week. I did get sick. Last week I was all froggy and I was thinking that it was my allergies, but I actually did catch a cold. I haven't caught a cold in like a million years, so it was weird. But, no, I'm on the mend now. I'm doing okay. But yeah, so I didn't get to play my Lego games. I didn't get to really read anything, so slacking a little this week. Sorry. And I'm also making a Christmas card. I know I'm super late, but I'm making a Christmas card, for my family, and I drew everybody in the style of Bob's Burgers characters.
Are you going to put that up, right? So everyone.
I might put it up. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's been taking up my non-sick time, and then work's been really busy. So sorry, but Alex had a lot of stuff, and we got Willis here too. So that being said, what else? Oh, one thing I did notice that I wanted to bring up. Last week we were talking about how popular those pop figures have just really, they're just like exploded lately.
Yeah, they have exploded, and they're all over.
They really are,
like,
yeah.
Even that, if you don't like them, it's like you find yourself buying them for people. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this would be a good gift for, yeah. But, well, on that note, gifts, wink, wink, because my birthday's coming up soon. They are coming out with Big Trouble in Little China pop figures. They got the Three Storms and Lopan and Jack Burton and Gracie Law. They got them, and I want them.
That movie was so funny.
That movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, just go watch it right now. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. But yeah, Jack Burton, I want it, so now you all know. But anyway, speaking of toys, last night we were had this big discussion about Hot Toys. So now that's a brand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they make these
Willis
really
is
cool...
the toy expert.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be basically interviewing you guys here. But anyway, so Hot Toys, they make the really cool detailed replica toys, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 1/6, what you call 1/6 scale, which is basically like I was telling you yesterday, is like basically Barbie doll size figures.
Barbies? Okay,
yeah, it's basically like a glorified Barbie doll, just like super detailed Barbie doll. Yeah. Yeah, 1/6 is basically a 12-inch figure.
Yeah.
Give or take, though, because they try to stay in scale with, like, the characters.
Okay,
so even though it's a 1/6 figure, like, when they have the license to the Predator films.
Right.
So they do a lot of Predators, and those are like 13, 14-inch figures. But they're still considered 1/6 scale.
Oh, okay.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard of Hot Toys, because I think Hot Toys goes back pretty far,
I'd say early 2000s is probably when they started.
And then I always knew about the statue, Sideshow?
Yes.
And now they distribute them, I guess?
Sideshow is
like
their
that.
pretty much distributor, because Hot Toys is a Hong Kong-based company, so everything... they started off just doing, like, I think it was like Batman figures and stuff like that, doing the Batmans, and then they got noticed because their sculptures of their characters are, like, so realistic looking that's why they demand a pretty penny. Like, it's what you're getting is like usually looks just like the actor or actress whoever they're trying to create there. But so then they branched out into all kinds of different, like I said, they started doing the Predator films. They got like the Marvel licenses. And I think they just recently, because Sideshow had the Star Wars license, and they were doing all the Star Wars figures in 1/6 scale. And then they started kind of collaborating with Hot Toys. So once that collaboration came, I think Hot Toys is still probably number one when it comes to 1/6. So I think somehow they managed something that Hot Toys took over that, and now they're doing 1/6. And
oh boy.
That shit looks amazing. I can say it. It just looks amazing.
It really does. After you kind of told me about them, I was like, yeah, man, Hot Toys, let me check those out. And we started looking over the webpage, and like some of these sculpts, I mean, if you look quick, I mean, that's like a photograph.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it's amazing.
You see Han Solo's face, and it's like, that's Harrison Ford, as a little doll. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
no joke. They
Yeah.
look really legit. And to be honest, I'm going to start saving up. If I get one hot toy,
Yeah.
that'll be enough. But I definitely got to get one.
See, and here's what I'll say as far as ordering toys. If you go to SideshowCollectibles.com, I think it is, you can order through them, so again, since they're the distributor. And the good thing about Hot Toys is they have what they call FlexPay, which is basically like payments. You can
Yeah,
make a
see,
payment.
I saw that on
Yeah.
Sideshow because I
That's
almost
that's
bought
how
a
I got my
statue.
figures. Yeah, the ones that I have, trust me, I flex paid them. So you don't have to drop like $250 at once. You can drop like $50, 50. They put you on like a little monthly plan until you pay it off.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, and it's like $50 for like 4 or 5 months or whatever it may be, and then they ship it to you.
Yeah, there's a few that caught my eye. I know you like the little baby Groot.
Yeah, it's funny on
Yes.
Facebook. I was scrolling through and I'm like, oh, there
Yep,
you go.
yep,
That's
yep.
that's the one.
The main one I kind of want was the Shadow Trooper.
Shadow Trooper,
Yeah, that looks sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have? You have some Predator ones?
I have one Predator, which again, this was like I bought this kind of when Hot Toys was just starting off, and it's actually one of the it's one of the Lost Predators from Part 2. It's one of the Predators. He's
okay.
not very known. He was on the ship basically,
Right,
so he's
yeah.
on screen for like 10 seconds.
Okay.
But I bought him back in the day when he was like $130.
Oh.
So he's a cool figure,
Yeah, not
awesome
bad
figure.
deal.
But now, you're looking at like a $250 figure probably. But the one they just recently released was the Elder from Part 2. And I trust me, I'm just like, wallets, where's my wallet? Yeah, and it's like, I'm just holding off because I don't want to pay for it, but I actually was looking at pictures of it last night.
Oh, really?
I think us talking about it made me like go back and I just stare at the pictures and I'm sitting there on the cart button and I'm like, it's in the cart. Do I just press it? Do I just go? And then I'm like,
Proceed to check
yeah,
out.
and then I'm looking at that $200 mark and I'm like, no, don't do it.
Back away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's going to look cool on your shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next
they
to
look
like
really
a
good.
Lego set or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Nice piece of artwork.
Yeah. See, that's how I look
That
at
looks
them.
cool.
That's as far as a toy collector goes. To me, it's artwork. They're just little
Yeah,
sculptures.
that's
They're
true,
sculptures.
yeah.
They're little
Yeah.
statues. So,
You know,
and of course, when it comes to the Hot Toys, they're like super articulated. So,
Right, yeah.
I mean, your
Million
poses.
poses,
Yes, you
yeah.
can put them in a million poses.
See,
and it's
that's really cool.
It makes it awesome.
That
so,
does.
yeah.
That's probably the selling point.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
for me.
And
Because
they-
at first I thought they were just, stiff sculptures.
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever.
they're and usually they come like the start because I have a Predator. I have 3 or 4 different clones from the various Star Wars movies, and then I have a couple like some random like other military type guy figures, and like they usually come with like multiple feet in different poses so that you can stand them in different poses, like with bent toes or
okay.
just any kind of different pose, and then like
Right.
you usually get like a hello hand, like the troopers and clones usually will come with like the peace sign, and they'll do like thumbs up, and they
See,
have
that's
like
cool.
they'll have like
Yeah.
a fist, and then you get the trigger hand that usually will hold a weapon, and it's just So and a lot of times too, and then the offshoot of that is you have what people call the 1/6 customizers, who they buy these figures and then do even more detailed things to them to make them look even better. They'll put like people will take their clothes off and weather them and give them like damage, and they'll even sew stuff on like little patches and stuff to make them look even more realistic and stuff like that. So that little world is a whole little world in itself. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's actually, I've seen people do that kind of thing with those pop figures, actually. So
Oh, really?
there's
Yeah.
a little offshoots, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody took the, I saw a picture of it on Facebook. They took the Baymax character from Big Hero 6,
Okay.
and he has like this red and purple outfit that he wears, so somebody customized it and it looks like a stormtrooper outfit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looked really, really
Yeah.
cute. But so yeah, I guess and then there's people that customize Legos too. So.
Yeah, customization is always a cool.
Yeah.
Thing. I wish
Yeah.
I could do more of that.
Yeah, I'm
like
not
a little-
good at that kind
yeah.
of
So
thing.
you
Yeah.
need a steady hand. You
Yeah.
need good eyes.
Good eyes,
It's
yeah.
tough.
And it's one of those things too, where like that kind of stuff, like to the Hot Toys thing. Like if I'm paying $300 for a figure, I'm not touching that
Nobody's
thing in
touching
any
it.
way that I could damage it. And that, like you said, that's just me though. Like some guy who's this awesome artist, that's a great painter or sculptor that maybe could add on things, and he trusts
Yeah,
himself
God
to do
forbid I
that.
fuck it up.
Yeah, like that's just my worst nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I just opened it up, a $300 figure, and then I break it because I'm trying to do something cool to it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my goodness,
It's already cool enough.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's going to be cool out of the box, and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Pose it a couple times, and then that's
And then
it.
you can never tell anybody that you messed it up.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, look at this $300 figure. I broke it.
Why does this shirt look like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Goodness. Yeah.
I guess I kind of like grew out of that almost. When I was younger, even like semi-cheap figures, but to me as a kid they were expensive. Like I have a couple of Spawn figures, or McFarlane I should say, that did like the Wizard of Oz,
right?
And it was like the Twisted Land of Oz.
Yeah,
and I bought them, and I think they were like $29.99 each or something like that when I first bought them, and I was a little younger, and I had them in the package, like with the thumbtack on my wall for the longest time, and finally, like cut 10 years later, I was like, you know what? I'm opening these.
Yeah.
Screw this.
Yeah.
And I opened them, and then I would pose them, and now I have them all like nice up on the mantle or whatever, and they look cool open, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like that balance between keeping it, you know, if you're never going to resell something, I want to open it up and get up close to it and see how it looks. You know, you can always see it looks better posed and.
Well, that's me. I'm an out of the box person. I like to have my shit so you can look at it and stuff.
But then again, I've never had something that's $300, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I haven't really.
See, and I've been on both sides where like on some of the figures that are smaller and more affordable in my early days when I really was, I had a problem. I would buy doubles. I was that guy. I would buy a double. Like I tell you, I got problems. Like I would buy a double of it. I'd be like, this guy's gonna go on the shelf in the box, hidden on the wall, and then the other one would be like, this guy I can mess with. And it's like, and then finally I realized like, why am I spending that extra money for a figure that's going to sit there when I'm enjoying the one that's open just as enough? And then I got to the point where certain figures, if I really, really care about it, there's certain ways to open toys that you can slip them back in the boxes.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yeah, so it's like you can eventually put them back away.
You get the snips out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, you slice tape, you cut the bubbles. Yeah, there's different ways to do it, but you learn those tricks in the toy trade, and you start to figure out
the forensic methods.
how to get around things like that.
Well, you know what? Actually, I did do that kind of thing. I was really into Barbies when I was a little kid, and they had these international Barbies. So like this one's from China, and she had a little, and I had all of those. And those, I found out later on, you can sell them on eBay for a good amount of money. But I was like, no, mine. I brushed the hair. I did the braids. I also gave a lot of my Barbies haircuts.
Okay.
So it's like, no, can't do. But I enjoyed them while I had them. So whatever. But that's how I customized my toys. I gave them haircuts.
That's cool.
Oh, jeez. So, and then you said that there was a toy expo or convention or something recently?
Yeah.
And they unveiled a bunch of new ones?
Yeah, that's where there was I guess over the past few days, I want to say it was in Hong Kong, I think, and that's where Hot Toys just unveiled like basically all the new Marvel stuff that's coming out for. See, unfortunately, I've already been spoiled because I already know what Captain America looks like for the news. I know what. I won't even say it, but I've seen everything pretty much already just by looking at these toys. And and like you said, Alex, it wasn't until I was done freaking out that I was like, "That's the new Captain America.
Yeah,
that's the new Thor. There's Thanos. There's Hulkbuster, Iron Man. I just saw all these characters, and I'm like, that's what they're gonna look like. Oh." Yeah, I'll probably forget by then, but still, in that moment, I was like, "Oh, I already seen them," So
if you can forget, then
I probably will.
Go.
Yeah, I usually do forget.
Yeah,
especially even trailers. It's like, I'll watch this, and then like by the time the movie comes out, I don't care.
See, you guys, you're normal. I'll watch a trailer and it's like burned into my brain. Like, he's gonna die. Oh, she's gonna fall off the cliff. I don't know what the hell my problem is.
You will win movie trivia every time. No doubt about it.
As long as it's slightly newerish movies. If it's like from the 70s and earlier, I'm
looking at you, kid.
No, I'm not gonna win that one. But that's like the one thing I'm good at. But anyway, the toy stuff sounds really awesome. This is totally off on my own here, but so I don't really have any, besides like some random Legos. I don't really have any cool toys, but I would love if I had my own place, like a real big place, and had a shitload of money. I'd love to get life-size replica toys of stuff, like. just a real big Terminator sitting right there,
Yeah.
right next to the
Sideshow
TV.
does
The skeleton or Arnold?
Sideshow does.
No, the skeleton.
The skeleton. Yeah, that's
Sideshow does
not-
that?
Sideshow does what, like I said, it's called 1/1, and that's life scale. They do. They
Yeah,
actually
I've
do have.
seen a couple of them. I've seen Iron Man.
They do have an Iron Man.
Oh,
They have
really?
a Boba Fett, Vader.
Wow.
They did. I think it's a T600 or T700,
See,
whichever it is.
those I would buy.
Really, really nice. But yeah, like I think you're looking at I think Vader. I want to say is like $6-7 grand.
Really?
Yeah, I was
So,
thinking up
yeah.
by 10.
That it's
Yeah.
got to be. Yeah.
They have a life scale Predator from the Predators
Ooh.
from the big, not the original Predator, but from
Right.
the newer Predators movie, the one that
with the bigger head.
with the bigger
Uh-huh.
head. They have and he's and it's a bust, so it's basically cut off at the bust line, but he's
Oh.
just growling, and it's
Uh-huh.
That's
just.
sweet. Yeah.
I think he's I think he's probably 2,000. I don't know, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
huge. I've seen in scale shots with people next to it, and
Uh-huh.
it's
Sweet.
enormous.
See, that's what
it's
I would
enormous.
save up for.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I just thought of? What about a life-size Velociraptor?
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
that's
How
cool.
cool would that
Yeah.
be?
Yeah,
I want
That
it.
would be really cool.
I actually saw a guy on one of the forums I go to. That's actually
Mm-hmm.
part of Sideshow Collectibles. That he had a replica of the T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
A head just mounted
Oh.
in his house, and him standing next to it,
Or
and
like
stuff like that. And
like-
it's
Oh, that's
it's
so awesome.
enormous, and
Yeah,
him
yeah.
standing next to it, and it's you must have lots of money
Yeah,
because that
yeah.
thing is huge, and it's in your house.
See, we could fit one right above the fireplace here. Oh, that's so cool. So yeah, I would save up and I'd get the life-size stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what's cool about toys. It's you,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
you invite
yeah.
people
Yeah.
over to check this out, man.
Yeah,
This is cool.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not
Not
like you're bragging or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you like it? It's cool. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
see,
likes it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
you create that little world of
Yeah.
characters and movies that mean something to you.
Right,
and that's how it is for me.
exactly.
Too.
Yeah, I think the 1/1 scale stuff, like you're saying, full size.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would go with that. There would be some instances where it would be really cool.
I'd
Like,
have to have a bigger house, obviously.
Yeah, you definitely need a lot of space, and it'd have to be done up cool. The when you said it, I was just yeah, you could have the skeleton of the Terminator in the bathroom, coached up behind the toilet or something,
Right,
going
right.
out, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
peeking around. So when you came in, you saw him, something like that.
Oh yeah, I would set them up so it'd scare the shit out of everybody in my
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it has to be some. I don't want to say themed, but
Well,
I feel like it works better when it's
Yeah.
oh, this is my movie room where we're gonna watch a movie
Right.
and there's Terminator or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah, and
But-
I have silver
yeah,
in the room.
I've
Yeah,
seen some
exactly.
where it's because people will take pictures of their collections and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen some where it's there's my living room and there's a Terminator standing in the middle of the
Yeah.
floor, and it's
Yeah, that's
a
what I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, so you're that's
Right.
a cool piece to have, but you're just kind of there's a Terminator in
Yeah,
your
you
living
kind
room.
of have to at least have a semi.
Yeah, it's
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another idea would be to have a predator or something inside the closet in the living room or something. So you open it, oh yeah, it's in the closet, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa, you know?
Yeah, just put your shoes in the closet. Yeah, totally.
That'd be cool.
Well, we have stairs here, and I always thought it would be fun to get a what's Jigsaw? The the little
Billy.
ugly Billy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
Billy.
Billy
Oh,
and just
okay,
have
yeah.
him sit on a
He
bike
on
and
his
just leave him
bike
at the top of the
Yeah,
stairs.
yeah, that would be
so when
awesome.
people
Good
come in,
idea.
they can just
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
him. But I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But I want to.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think the most frequent one I've seen is always R2. I've always seen size R2
yeah,
all
yeah.
over.
There's
Yeah, those are the droid builders.
Yeah.
Yep.
there's always a lot of those running around at cons
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Remote controlled ones.
Yeah, guy following behind it.
Yeah.
I think a little Wally would be cute too.
Oh
Wouldn't
yeah,
it?
Wally would be.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Wally
That'd be
would be very
adorable,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and Evie, I would like Wally.
Yeah.
Evie could be a lamp.
Yeah.
Or where you put your controllers. I don't know. We are getting so off.
I know, right?
That's okay. That's okay.
It's toys.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about toys. Yeah, toys are pretty awesome. So, the only other thing, this is a little bit more movie-centric, but I did want to bring up, just because we have very varied opinions on this.
And we might have to do this on another show because this
Well,
might get very involved.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We can always do a part A and a part B. But the Hobbit, the last Hobbit movie, what's it called? Anybody know the name of it?
Well,
Is it something battle something?
Oh,
thought
Battle
it was
of the
There and Back Again.
Five Armies. It was
Something
supposed to
like
be
that.
there and
yeah,
back
it's
again.
supposed to be.
But I think it's Battle of the Five Armies
Something
or Seven
like that.
Armies or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
Five
third
Armies.
and final Hobbit movie came out this week. So, it's kind of annoying because I would have gone to see it for free, but I couldn't make it because I had to work. But anyway, none of us have seen it yet. But me and Alex kind of have the same general opinion, which is
I think the Hobbit movies are shit shows. I really do. I mean, I love the Lord of the Rings. You're not going to meet a guy who watched Lord of the Rings more. I've watched, when you get the extended edition Lord of the Rings, they have the appendices.
Yeah.
And they have it's like 4 hours for each movie. And I've watched all those.
It's several discs per movie.
Like numerous times I've watched that. And I love it. It was great. It was awesome. And then they announced The Hobbit. And I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Right.
And then they announced that it was going to be 2 films. And I was like, well... And then they announced that it was going to be 3 films. I was like, fuck you, I'm not seeing it.
Well, I was still like, oh, I'll go see it, because I love the other ones, and it's all the same people, and the same director, and all that stuff. And, oh, God, I was
It was a snooze
bored.
fest.
Yeah. I fell asleep through a good chunk of the middle of the first movie. And then I was talking about it, I think I was talking about it with Vanessa, actually. And I couldn't remember the ending of the movie. I was like, I have no idea how
it ends on a hill in the middle of nowhere, and they're just looking out, and they're like, okay.
And then I did see...
Spoilers!
Man, yeah, if you haven't seen those movies, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's technically spoilers.
Yeah.
And then the second movie, was that last year that it came out? Or whatever.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That one I did actually go to the theater to see. And that one I enjoyed it more. I'm like... I don't care about 12 of these dwarves. I don't even know their names.
They're just...
I don't know their
names. You don't know because there's a million of them.
Yeah.
The dwarves, they don't really look cool.
At first I thought you said the dorks.
Well, they are a little dorky, but no, I mean, I went to that movie just like everybody else to see Smaug or whatever his name is.
But even Smaug's scene, it goes on forever.
It does. There's quite a bit of talking.
What's going on here? Eat the Hobbit already. You're just walking around and Bilbo's like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, I couldn't do it.
Alright, hold on. We haven't done... Yeah. Alright, Willis.
No, okay, here, I'm only just gonna say, I loved every second of Smaug. He could have just sat in the gold for another hour, and I would have been glued to the screen. Now, looking at his eyeball, I would have been like, this is awesome! Yeah. So.
Now, I'm not going to deny, Smaug was very, very cool.
He looked great.
He looked awesome.
Sounded
awesome choice for voice actor.
Yes, I agree.
I just felt like the scene went on a little too.
Yeah,
it did, yeah.
agree.
And I want to just say also, I'm all about Lord of the Rings, those movies. We did a drinking game. It was awesome to the first one. And it was great. I love them. And I will never read the books. I tried to, and they're just so boring.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But I love the movies. Hobbit, I actually did read the book in high school, and the movies, I'm just, don't like them at all.
Well, it's like, it seems to me that, because I like Peter Jackson. He's a cool guy. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a little dorky. You can see it in his movie making.
Yeah, that's endearing, I think.
I think he was probably overruled. And they were like, you know what? You could stretch this into 3 movies.
Oh, so you think he wanted to do one?
I don't know if he wanted to do one, but I don't know. They threw all this stuff from the different mediums. Like there's I forget the other 2 books, but it's like all this other stuff that's not even in the Hobbit book.
No,
they threw all in
in
this
there.
movie just to link it closer to the Lord of the Rings. Which
just
I guess
to eat up
is
screen
fine,
time.
Yeah, and it's like they stretched it out way too long. I think 2 movies it would have been good.
Yeah, probably.
I think 2 movies would have been perfect. But yeah, I just didn't care for it, man. I mean, and a lot of people love it. I had this guy that I worked with. He was like, "Dude, are you going to see The Hobbit when the Smaug came out?" Mm-hmm. I was like, "No, man. I fell asleep in the first movie. I went and saw it Christmas Day." by myself at midnight, and I fell asleep. Because I was just like, this is boring.
Yeah, it was. I'll admit, the first one is really boring. It's boring.
Now, that being said, I've heard that this one is the Return of the King of this franchise.
Oh, I would assume it is. Yeah.
I feel like they're going to war, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be nonstop crazy action.
That's the one thing that like you said. I can't say that I'm a diehard Hobbit. Yeah, I don't really care all that much for the movies. I like them, but I think what keeps me coming back is I'm a big villain guy.
Yeah,
and Azog, the Defiler.
Okay,
he's the white.
Yeah, the white orc.
Right? Yeah.
Like that dude. I would just watch 2 hours of him riding his warg.
Spin off.
Yeah, and
I thought he was a little too CGI heavy.
He is
in the first film.
Yeah. I hear you a little bit. Yeah, I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, but even that, if you like the villain, you're going to overlook.
But see,
that.
that's the thing.
You're going to overlook it.
With
You're
me.
going to love it.
To me, he looks so awesome that I don't even pay attention to that. I just pay attention to like what he's doing and like his hand. Like when in the first Hobbit, when they gave his story of how his arm was cut off and how he chopped the head of the king off.
Yeah.
I was freaking out at home. I was just like, I watched that part like 2 or 3 times. Like, I wanted
Rewind.
I literally did. I rewound it so many times and just watched that story because of him telling the story of how it happened. I just freaked out. And then in the second one, when you see the orc armies going into the village and stuff like that, and then you see, which I think, I don't know if it's his son or a brother or whatever it is, but there's another big orc in there that's all armored up and like has this weird helmet that looks like his face has been bashed in. Those two, like, again, I was just freaking out because I was like, man, the design on those guys and their weapons and armor and everything looks so awesome, and I'm a big orc fan, so again, like, I can deal with the boring hobbits because I'm like, okay, it's the Hobbit scene. All right, I deal with it.
The character,
and then I'm like, I don't care about these hairy feet dudes, whatever.
Right.
And then we get to the orcs, and I'm just start freaking out. And then Smaug too. It's like, and that last scene, spoiler, when you see Smaug in gold flying over, and he says, "I am fire, I am death." I watched that like a million times just so I could hear it. And I was the nerdy guy that was like walking around saying, "I am fire, I am death," everywhere. I was like, I was going to start writing posts on things and just like, that was like my new catchphrase of "I am fire, I am death." It was like everywhere for me. And I just, So I'm like, man, like burn everything to the ground. Yeah, that was like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think what happened too is it got plagued with the CGI, where if you watch The Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of practical orcs.
Yeah.
They're all costumes.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in the Hobbit films, there's no practical orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same idea as the Star Wars prequels. You know, the original films, they looked dirty, they looked grungy, and then
they looked lived in.
Yeah. Now we're going before, so it's older stuff, and they're making it look newer.
Yeah.
Everything is shiny.
You think it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be that way. But, you know, whatever. I guess they got to keep with the times or whatever.
I will say, because when you said something about like not caring so much about certain aspects of the movie, I do want to slightly edit what I was saying before. I'm all about the Lord of the Rings movies. I do enjoy them a lot. But kind of the same reasons. I just like all these monsters and the makeup and the effects and everything. The actual story itself, to me the biggest thing is just those freaking birds.
Yeah.
But whatever, so I just wanted to point that out before anybody says anything. It's more just like the cool battles and all that kind of stuff.
See, that's me too. Like, that's exactly what I was trying to get at too. It's like the movies themselves, they're okay, they're good. I'm not going to hate them, but I go for creatures and monsters and certain characters, so that's enough to keep me like, wow, this is awesome.
See, that's what it was. In the Hobbit movies, there wasn't enough of that for me to be like, oh, I'll watch this again. But like the Lord of the Rings movies, I've seen each of those several times.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and also that being said, I mean, you probably tell by now I'm a little bit of a harsher critic than most people.
Yes.
So I'm just always gonna, maybe I'll make a show out of it or a sidecast.
The harsh critic,
the shit shows.
The shit shows.
Because I got plenty of movies that everybody loves that I don't like, so we can go over them.
We'll just go through Tina's favorite movies, and Alex can just pick them off.
Shit show.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's our opinions on the Hobbit. Are you going to see the Hobbit in the theater?
See, I kind of want to, but here's the thing. Realistically, I probably doubt it. I doubt I'm going to be able to block out 3.5 hours of time to be like, I'm going to the Hobbit. Like,
right?
Time
is so precious.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them in the theaters. And it was all like, oh, I want to, but I won't. Probably, more than likely, I won't. I'll wait till it comes out.
Yeah.
So...
See, like, there's a certain, you know what it is? It's funny. There's something happens to you when a movie grabs you enough to make you go see it in the theater. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, it's different for every person, and it takes different things for every person to grab them. Like, and then sometimes when you miss the ball, you know, you miss it. Like, I really wish I would have saw Interstellar in the theater, and we missed it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that probably would have been one to see. Yeah. And I remember when Gravity came out.
Oh, yeah.
Something happened where I was like, dude, we're going to go see that in the theater.
We have to make a point to go see it.
Yeah, and I went with my sister and we saw it, and it was just epic in the theater. You know, now watching it at home, it's not as good. It's okay. It's a little boring, but in the theater, it was like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. There's,
something happens. You know, it grabs you.
And I'll be honest, because I cherish my time off because I'm always working and stuff. So like, it doesn't take a whole lot for me to be like, oh well, I don't want to go. And also with the pricing of movies and stuff. So there's certain times where I'm like, I'm gonna go by myself if nobody will go with me, but I need to go see this movie in the movie theater. And then there's other times when you go and you see like Dracula, and you're like, well, that was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. But I mean, you know,
the last scene of Dracula.
Oh well. Yeah.
No.
I'm like, what were you guys thinking here? Well, I think that's pretty much everything. We covered a lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah, we did.
But was there any Star Wars tidbits you left out?
I was thinking of it, but I'm going to keep them to myself. We got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of time.
Exactly. How many weeks? 52 weeks or 51 weeks, I guess?
Right around there.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have a lot of time to talk about that kind of stuff. And I guess this is like a little bit of a spoiler, but, you know, because we were talking about all the revamping we're doing and cool stuff, but I hope you guys like Willis, because you'll be hearing him more often, so.
Yeah,
we're
better like me.
Or else.
We're close.
Yeah, we're almost there. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up then for this episode. If you guys want to give us any feedback, you can email us at damselsinDebate@gmail.com. You can also do that on our website, just damselsinDebate.com. And you can also listen to all our episodes, stream all our episodes from our website. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and follow us or tweet us or like us or any of that crap. And also rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube. And we would love some interaction. Just say hi, or if you think The Hobbit is a good movie or not. I don't know. Or if you have any hot toys, that'd be cool to see some pictures too. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for joining me.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Success.
Bye.